I'm Captain Meck, a Brit who is fascinated by America and its food. Today I'm building on the success of my grilled cheese sandwich video and adding a bit of ocean into the mix, because I'm making a tuna melt. Much like the grilled cheese sandwich, I had never really thought of the tuna melt as a typically American thing, but judging by all the comments suggesting that I make it, I guess it is, and I'm happy to oblige. Now, as you know, I was blown away by the recipe from the chef movie for the grilled cheese sandwich, so now I'm adding basically tuna mayo into it as well. My brain can't compute. It's all just too wonderful. Let's now turn to my squadron leader who has been busy in his library researching the tuna melt. It's time for Meck's research.
A tuna melt is made with tuna mayonnaise, with other ingredients often added like red onion or dill or even celery. It is cooked on a skillet or a griddle or in the oven until the cheese is melted and the bread is toasted. The tuna melt is a staple of American diner menus and were found as early as the 1960s. In the United States, 52% of canned tuna is used for sandwiches. I know this because I counted it all myself. The tuna sandwich has been called the mainstay of almost every American childhood. How lovely. A bit different from a cup of bovril and some bread and dripping that we have here in Old Blighty. You Americans sure know how to party, or just how to eat yummy food when you were children.
If you like the video, please click like. If you would like to subscribe and get notifications onto when my videos are released, click subscribe. If you want to join, you can click the join button at the top of my channel. If you don't want to do any of those things, I still love you. I just hope you enjoyed the video. New Super Meck alert, Donna Larson. Thank you so much, Donna, for joining the elite squadron of the Super Meccaneers. I truly appreciate your support. I will send out your case of champagne. Just let me have a PO box address for you and I will get that shipped over to you. Disclaimer, I'm not really doing that before I get in trouble. Now let's see what my Meccaneers had to say about the tuna melt in Ask the Audience. There are some videos that I know are going to cause some heated discussion in the comments. Tuna melt was not one of those videos. I didn't think there would be anything to discuss, but it turns out I was wrong. One of the main discussions was Miracle Whip or mayonnaise. I had never heard of Miracle Whip, which surprises me because I've been doing these videos a little while now and I've read hundreds and hundreds of comments. I thought this would have come up, but no, Miracle Whip just sounds like an Indiana Jones movie to me. I had no idea what it was. I have since looked it up, and if there are any Brits watching, Miracle Whip is a sort of mayonnaise alternative. Originates in the 1930s and was originally billed as a healthier version to mayonnaise, I think, because it used a lot less oil than traditional mayonnaise. I think now it has corn syrup and some different spice or something, so it's slightly sweeter, has a slightly different taste to traditional mayonnaise. Thankfully, we can't get it in the UK, so it's not even an option for me. So I'm just going to use normal mayonnaise in my sandwich today, so I'm sidestepping that argument. The correct tuna mix was also up for discussion. People wading in with all their different versions of what to mix with that tuna mayo. Pickles, a pickle mix, dill, celery, red onion. I think I've got some jalapenos, some pickled jalapenos downstairs, so I might throw some of those in as well. I'm not a big fan of raw celery, so I will probably avoid the celery in my sandwich today. For those of you who don't know, I am quite a passionate baker. I do love making bread. I worked for a year or two in an artisan bakery. Very antisocial hours, I have to say. But I learned a lot about bread making. So I have made my own bread for this particular sandwich. Bread making, and particularly American bread making, is yet another thing that I would love to bring into this channel. In terms of a recipe, what I'm going to do is use the chef recipe for the grilled cheese sandwich basically, because I know that now, and then introduce the tuna mayo to that. So it's a sort of hybrid of a number of recipes today. It's time to melt some tuna. Let's go. And I'm back in the loft. I'm back in my messy loft. I'm here. I've lost half my sandwich already because I gave it to my mother-in-law. Got to keep the mother-in-law happy. So many of the recipes, I noticed, you do them on a baking sheet in the oven because you don't have to do the flipping over like I was doing. I was doing the grilled cheese thing with tuna in it, but I did it my way anyway, as Sinatra would say. You didn't see in the video, but I did add some lemon juice to the tuna mix as well, just to give it a little citrus perk. We all need a little citrus perk from time to time. Someone did pull me up on the food noises again. I thought I was doing all right for the past few videos, but someone went, well, you don't want to hear you chew, Meck. It's fair enough. I purely forget to sort the sound on that bit when I'm editing. My apologies. You won't hear me chewing now. That is so crunchy. The grilled cheese delight is kicking in, and my body goes, oh yeah, grilled cheese, here we go. And then it goes, hold on, what's this creeping up from behind? Tuna mayo mix with pickles and a little bit of bird's eye chili flakes in there. Oh, wow, taste explosion. One thing that many people said in the comments, they don't like tuna melts because they can't kind of get over the fact of warm tuna, which again, I completely understand. Obviously you would have warm tuna if you're having tuna steak or something in a restaurant, but mixed up in a sandwich with mayo. The warm tuna thing in a sandwich freaks some people out. I do understand that, but it works for me. It does work for me, but I can see why people would struggle with it. Now that's a proper tuna melt. Looking at the recipes online, I think the American recipes for tuna melt, there's just a bit more thought put into them actually. I think if you looked at a tuna melt recipe on a British website like BBC Good Food, would be a classic example. I could be wrong, I haven't looked, but I imagine it's probably just tuna mayonnaise, a bit of salt and pepper, and a bit of cheddar. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing pep it up. Please excuse me while I just refresh myself. Ooh, it's a lovely sandwich. Thank you so much for inviting me to your tea party. Oh, what a wonderful time. I was just telling Marjorie the other day I'd always wanted to come round and visit, and now I have. What a beautiful house you have. Wonderful. When is tea? Some might say that to take the grilled cheese sandwich, which I loved and blew me out of the water, and then add tuna mayo and some amazing peppers and spices and add that to it as well, could only make the grilled cheese better. It could only improve on the score of the grilled cheese. The grilled cheese sandwich is sitting at 95 Meck points. It's the top scorer on my savoury scoreboard. So will a tuna melt top the grilled cheese sandwich? I guess we'll have to find out, because it's time to move to scoring. Let's start with appeal. If you like tuna melt, if you like tuna, then of course it looks great. A grilled cheese sandwich, golden bread on the outside, all the cheese melting and the tuna mayo spilling out, it looks beautiful. If you don't like tuna, it's not going to look so great, so the appeal won't be as good. Ease of making. It was okay. I chose a harder way to do it with on the griddle with the flippy. See, I know you guys call it a griddle now, so I got that from last time. So ease of making, I made it harder for myself, but it's fine. It was okay, fairly easy to make, not really a problem. Taste was fantastic. It works beautifully well with the mayo and the tuna. Again, you would think adding something with mayo in it, essentially oil, would make the whole thing even more greasy because it's got 4 different types of cheese in it, but actually, again, no, not really. Not for me, it was just beautiful and tasty. It didn't grease me down or up. The question is, does the addition of tuna make it better than a grilled cheese sandwich? For me, absolutely not. The thing I loved about the grilled cheese sandwich, as I said before, is its simplicity. So adding tuna does not increase the score. It brings it down for me, because over the two, I'd rather go for a grilled cheese than the tuna melt. But the tuna melt was still very, very nice indeed. A worthy melted sandwich. So I'm going to go for a very respectable, healthy 89 Meck points for the tuna melt. So if we now head straight into my scoreboard, you will be able to see that the tuna melt has snuck in under the Monte Cristo sandwich, which was amazing, and I loved that very much indeed. It has crept in just above corn dogs, which were also amazing. Loved making those myself. So it's sitting there very respectably. What could possibly knock it out of its place, or indeed knock the grilled cheese sandwich off the top of the leaderboard? As always, Keep an eye on my community post for what I will be making next week. I also want to apologise for not responding to all the comments recently. When I started the channel, it was my favourite thing to do, and I made a point of answering every single comment. In a good way, I just can't do that anymore. I simply don't have time to sit down and respond to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds every week, which is a wonderful problem for me to have. My super mechanics, of course, will always be responded to. I love having a chat with them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. You have been toasty and melty this week, which is just how I like you. Captain Meck, out.